this their first
team last season, beating the
playoff caliber and took care of it.
The four, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up. They've got Bargnani, Anthony out there with Quincy Ace. Then
is a man among boys down low. Remarkable physical power. And he's also...
It's Wall with the drive. And Beal kicks to Wall. No good on the triple.
I tell you what, you can shake your confidence missing wide open shots like that.
Out left to the wing. Outside Thomas. Some nice passing by New York here. Here's Anthony. Cannot hit. And Washington the other way now. This game coming after a loss against the Bucks.
Just not a disciplined performance defensively in that game, guys. A lot of silly fouls hurt them throughout.
I think lack of discipline is the right phrase, Greg. I mean, a lot of silly fouls, and they did that even when they were in foul trouble.
Here's Anthony after the made shot from Bradley Beal. Pass to Thomas. 6 on the shot clock. Picked by Bargnani. And Thomas, here we go. And Bargnani throws it down.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
And, you know, that lead's only going to grow if they're not prepared to defend a little more staunchly than that.
And it's Gortat finishing it off.
And, guys, isn't it great to see a player who works that hard on the glass at both ends?
Well said, G. That's the way he has built, you know, his reputation. Clark grinding away, 100% effort all the time.
And, you know, Kevin, all that effort pays off. How many of those spectacular putback jams do we see from this guy? A bunch.
Here's Wall after New York gets the 3. 27 seconds left in the first. Gortat with a screen on Thomas. Gortat wide open. He fires. And, yep, finally drops after rolling around the rim.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
Anthony kicks to Shved. Upside Thomas. Outside Anthony. Here's AC. And no good trying to get that one. And John Wall spoke prior to the game. He talked about the identity of the Wizards team.
Defensively, just being that gritty.
Washington defense can be.
Well, it's been good enough to have taken them further than most thought they'd go, and in all of that.
And now the second quarter just getting set to start. And what stands out to you?
All moving, Greg, and their opponents chasing after it. That's how they piled up all the points.
They've got Rasul Butler. Chris Humphries is up.
Listen, the Knicks finishing at the bottom of the East last season. They didn't go into the season thinking they were in for a rough go, making last season all that more painstaking for the fans.
Great.
As to who was supposed to be on it.
Sessions passes to Seraphin. Three-pointer. Sessions, no good. And for the Knicks and their play against the rest of the conference, guys who've been talking about only Clark 11 wins in 52 games.
And you know, Kevin, what's worse is the Knicks were 5-21 at home against the East. No matter how you slice that up, the Knicks had a season that everybody would like to forget in New York. Oh, we've got a moment here now, Kevin, to look back to last year's Knicks. 8th in free throw percentage, 14th in blocks. And they were in the top half of the league shooting the ball from deep. Average to pedestrian, but still fairly effective from there.
And you look at their free throw percentage, not to be overlooked. I mean, this was a team, I thought, that did a really good job of taking advantage of their opportunity.
For the New York Knicks, they come in off a good outing against the Atlanta Hawks.
Their shooting percentage in that game was ridiculous. I mean, they created a lot of good looks for themselves, and you could see they were in rhythm and just continued to knock them down.
And, guys, I thought the key was simply getting that ball side to side, reversing it, keeping pressure on the defense. That really opened up the court for them, and I think that's why they got so many good shots. Washington making some changes.
Beal comes in for Garrett Temple, and John Wall subbed in for Sessions. Second quarter of play with around 2 minutes gone so far. Anthony against Beal. But on that shot, with that, the Knicks lead is cut down now to just 7 on the bucket from Humphries.
Oh, I love that dish down low.
AC dishes to Shved. Bargnani down low. Serafin's there. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. Injuries have certainly taken their toll on Bargnani, culminating in disaster last season. Greg suiting up for only 29 games, the fewest ever in his career.
Yeah, I mean, he had a series of leg injuries, the hammy, the calf. Really unfortunate part about it is that he has so much talent, but yet really to develop that on the floor because of all the issues.
Here's Anthony. Score the basket. His 4th. He's only missed 1 of his 5 shots tonight.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need one.
Here's Pierce. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. The Wizards shooting their first free throws of this game. That free throw, no good. That one misses.
I didn't expect that result when he stepped up there. I'll bet he didn't either. As good a foul shooter as he is.
Thomas kicks to AC. Uncovered. Good, and the assist goes to Thomas. Thomas got 4 assists now tonight.
And that's going to increase the field goal percentage even more. They have a huge edge in that category.
And that's because they've been playing smart basketball. I mean, they've been very patient offensively, and their shot selection has been superb.
And here's Bargnani outside. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall. And we finished 1 half of basketball.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Well, 2 quarters down, 2 to go. Welcome back. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith. For the Knicks, the first quarter was pretty even. The biggest lead for them during the period was 6. They showed their superiority in the... And now, folks, it's just about time for the third quarter to begin. We will see you after the final buzzer.
Welcome back, everyone. We're ready to get going again as this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports continues. Players are topped off with Gatorade, hydrated, and ready to get going again as well.
A good night for Carmelo Anthony. He has 9 points, and he's put 1 3-pointer on the board.
You know what, though, Clark? It wouldn't be a bad idea going forward to try to let him do a little more damage from beyond the arc.
And on the floor for Derek Fisher as we get into the second half. Quincy AC out there with Anthony. Then it's Bargnani. Then there's Lance Thomas. And it's Shved in at the point. And that one's good. Nene's got his first basket of the night.
8 of the last 10 points at that end of the court have been scored on very high percentage shots in the paint.
And really, there is no resistance defensively right now. It is just far too easy.
Good. Anthony's got the lead up to 11 now for the Knicks.
Boy, they are passing the ball very crisply right now.
They really are, and their last 3 buckets have come by way of an assist.
Well, nobody really knew, Greg, what to make of Washington going into last year's playoffs. They came out strong with a big sweep against a pretty good Raptors team.
Yeah, how about taking them down 4 straight? And it was the first time a team has swept an opponent without home court advantage since 2011. Also was the first sweep for the Wizards in franchise history. Ooh, rising and punching it on the young fella. You know he loves having that much of a height advantage. Best chance to get yourself on the highlight reel.
Washington calls timeout.
And in the second round, the Wizards continued to be a tough opponent. I mean, they went up 2-1 on the Hawks, but were unable to keep the series lead. A lot of close, heartbreaking losses for them in that series.
And Pierce, here we go. 6 to shoot, and Nene has it in the corner. Rejected by Bargnani. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Wizards will retain possession.
Washington ball.
Here's Pierce. Pierce with another miss.
And the Hawks would ultimately take down the Wizards last year in the postseason. John Wall and his injury were a big turning point in that matchup. And all those buzzer beaters for both teams made it one of the most interesting series of the postseason.
Outside, Wall. Gortat with the screen for Wall. 4 on the clock. Tries to save it. And it goes out of bounds. That one's off Anthony.
Washington ball.
And in front of you now is a list of the players with the highest shooting percentage last season. Third is Marcin Gortat.
You know, nobody said this guy couldn't miss last season. And because he was such a good percentage shooter, one of the best in the league, his teammates always were looking for him.
Chris Humphries has checked in for Washington. Butler comes in for Paul Pierce.
Great shot. Had to fade back, but he still managed to drain it.
Anthony on the wing, defended by Butler. Anthony against Butler, and that one goes in as he is fouled. It'll be 3 points if he converts at the line. Kevin Serafin, he's checked in for Gortat. The Knicks shooting their third free throw attempt of the game.
And last season, 77% from the line. They could usually get the job done there.
You know, something you can point to when you're talking about their areas of success last season, free throw shooting.
And Thomas with the stuff.
Such a strong finisher on the fast break.
And Greg, I love the fact he's always in control. Even though he's going at breakneck speed, he still maintains his body control.
Outside, Wall. And Anthony sends it back.
Get ready for your Wizard Girls. DJ Khaled.
And welcome back to the second half of our Halloween broadcast. Wizards trail by 16. Pierce and Nene are at the forward spots. All out there with Rasul Butler. And it's Serafin in at the 5 spot. That's the 5 on the 4 for the Wizards.
Boy, that was a rugged screen set there, fellas, and the defense didn't even try to go through that one.
Here's Anthony, and that one is stuffed right through.
And that's his MO. Sometimes he can score more points by himself than the rest of the team.
Wall passes to Butler. Now the dish to Nene. Outside, Pierce. Butler in the corner. Offensive rebound. Nene can't get it to go. The Knicks leading by 16. Shved dishes to Bargnani. New York moving it around. Here's Anthony. Stolen by Pierce. A few possessions into the fourth quarter. Just over a minute played. And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. Washington's offense last year looked solid on paper, but in reality, it was much tougher to defend against. They could hurt you in a number of ways.
And the Wizards, Kevin, could get you in transition, but they could also, as you mentioned, they could get you with their half-court sets. Top 10 in field goal percentage as well as three-point percentage last season.
And good, coming off the assist by Wall. Wall's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. New York's gone 3 of 4 from long range in the game.
And, you know, for the Wizards, it wasn't just how they scored, but who scored. I mean, they ended the season with all 5 starters averaging double-digit points, and that's a rarity.
And it's Pierce in the corner. Pierce with another miss.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
To the right side. And Ace kicks to Anthony. Thomas passes to Carmelo. Picked by Bargnani. There's the triple. New York, no good that time either.
And thinking back to the Wizards having all of their starting five scoring in double digits last year, those are the kinds of teams that coaches hate to plan against. Any given night, one of them can step up and hurt you, and you just couldn't plan for where their points were going to come from. And you can hear the disappointment in the crowd tonight, but we saw a team that was just ready to do battle in this arena. They clearly wanted this road.
Crystal clearly. They came in here determined to steal this game, Greg. Their effort level, I thought, was outstanding, and they just took care of business.
And Washington going with a whole new group here. And Thomas, here we go. Anthony dishes to Bargnani, and here's Shved from the arc. No good. Now Washington takes it the other way. 30 seconds left to play here in the fourth. To the paint, here's Gortat. The shot's good. Sessions making him pay.
No matter what they've tried, the D just has not been able to deny them the ball in the paint.
And it's a big key thus far in this game, Clark, because whenever they've gotten the ball in the paint, good things have happened.
That was perfectly designed, Kevin. An easy dunk on that inbounds play.
Not sure there's anything they can do to salvage this one.
Not anymore. I mean, any chance they had got away from them, slipped right out of their hand.
Right wing. And here's Shved from the arc. That's good. And the Knicks lead by 14.
Well, if it wasn't out of reach, it is now, thanks to that last little spurt.
And why put the brakes on now? I just say keep on letting it fly.
So no problem for New York.
Andrea, congratulations on the win. What was the biggest difference maker for the team?
I think we got a lot of enthusiasm from the defensive part of the game because we're playing good defense. Everybody get excited when we get a stop. So that excitement, we bring that excitement on the offensive end.
Congratulations, Andrea. Kevin, over to you.
All right, Doris, great job. Thanks so much. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Welcome back, Ernie Johnson, along with Shaq and Kenny the Jet. Let's quickly move forward now to the presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Carmelo Anthony. He put his team on his back and carried them as we've seen him do before, but it never gets old. A textbook example of making play after play to lead the way.
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight. His shooting percentage was off the charts. He used every trick in the book to get those high percentage shots. He shot from every direction, and there was a little bit of luck here and there, but he was on fire.
There was nothing they could do to slow him down, Ernie. Man, go into a building on the road and completely control the action like he did, only a few players could do that, Ernie. I'm impressed.
And that'll do it for our broadcast tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
We're coming at you from beautiful New York City as the Knicks prepare to take the home court. Looking at the last game for the New York Knicks, it was a win against the Wizards in Washington.
I mean, no stress in that one. The game almost looked like a shoot-around for them. Amazing at how well they shot the basketball.
And even more impressive, Greg, considering it was on the road. I mean, it's rare that you'd see a team get that hot away from home.
And a look at the starters for San Antonio. Duncan and Splitter, the big man pair. Defensive-minded Green and Leonard are the wings. And it's Parker in a point. And he gets the bucket.
And guys, when you watch the Spurs play, it's like watching poetry in motion. I mean, every cut, every screen comes at a precise time, and they play beyond the sum of their talents because of that style.
Here's Bargnani. And he uses the glass on the layup.
I'll bet that's what they talked about before the game. You know, getting the ball inside early.
And it worked to perfection, Clark, on that possession. We'll see how that plays out in terms of being a big part of their game plan.
Spurs do have a beautiful play style, and their offensive numbers show it, Greg. You're right there. One of the most fluid teams I can recall, Clark, in the NBA with their ball movements.
A joy to watch. I mean, they ended up top 5 in shooting percentage last year, as well as top 5 in assists.
Here's Parker, following the score by New York. The dish to Splitter. Back to Parker. The three. Good. Parker's got his second bucket of the night.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
First quarter of play with about a minute and a half gone. Anthony, the pass to Ace. To the middle. Bargnani kicks to Shved. And good on the basket. Book it.
Really good awareness right there on the assist.
The Spurs have gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. Parker outside. Leonard with no one around. And it's good on the assist by Parker. Leonard's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Anthony kicks to early. And good, as it just snugs right down through the net.
Carmelo Anthony showing you his passing skill there.
Duncan, a screen. Parker dishes to Duncan. He feeds it to Leonard. Here's the 3. It's rebounded by New York.
A clear look at the hoop. He doesn't miss many of those.
It's Anthony with the drive. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Fellas, that two-hand mop to slam was vicious.
I don't think there was anyone, and I mean anyone, that could have stopped him on that one.
I tell you what, I'm glad they didn't try, because somebody might have got their feelings hurt.
Now here's Anthony coming off a solid outing against Washington. Passes it to Ace. Looks for Bargnani, gets it to him, and here's Shved from the arc. And the rebound goes to Duncan. Here's Parker to the middle. And it's Duncan penetrating. Nice pass. Led him to the rack perfectly for the layup.
I like the fact that he led his teammate right to the ideal spot he needs to be.
Here's early. No good on that last second attempt there. And Spurs head coach Greg Popovich, very demanding. Throughout the years, he was hardest on his point guard, Tony Parker.
My first 3-4 years, it was tough sometimes.
Even though it seems like that was a... very long time ago now. To hear Tony Parker talk about it now, it still sounds very fresh to him.
Did he acknowledge, Kevin, that he cried?
It sounds like it, yeah.
The game made him cry. That's one of the things fans forget about with professional athletes. No matter how successful they get, players never forget that pain and frustration or those other emotions they've gone through to help get them to where they are.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. And guys, what's your take on the Knicks so far?
You know, it's been about how solid they've been offensively here, really tuned in with one another.
Good ball movement, and it's paid off on the scoreboard.
On the court for San Antonio here in the second. The ageless ones, Diaw and Duncan, are down low. Manu and Kawhi filling out the perimeter. And it's Joseph in at the 1 spot.
Hard to believe this, but Carmelo feels as if he's been underrated as a superstar to this point in his career. And I'm sure there are a lot of conflicting opinions on that topic.
That doesn't go either for Duncan.
The defense better not make a habit of giving him that shot. I mean, he doesn't miss many of them.
Shved with it, picked up by Ginobili. Anthony, the pass to Ace. That's in there. Anthony with the assist. Ace has got the lead up to 2 now for the Knicks. For Carmelo, the numbers are there for him to be treated as a Tier 1 star still, I think, Clark, but it's hard to call him underrated.
Yeah, I think he'll be underrated until he's able to get to the championship round or maybe even win a ring. There's one thing that's clear, though. He's been under a lot of pressure since he's come into the league, and he hasn't been underrated in that regard.
Bargnani sets the screen for Anthony. Just 5 to shoot. The tray. That's good. Anthony's got 5.
It's got to be nice for them to know that game in and game out, this offense is going to be there for them.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with Boston.
Yeah, and really lucky that they weren't blown out in that game, because I just thought the effort was lacking.
They just couldn't hit on anything that worked for them, no matter what approach they used.
Splitters checked in for San Antonio. Mills comes in for Corey Joseph. Anthony with it. Leonard picks him up. Early kicks to Anthony. Pick by Bargnani. Off the screen. Cruz off the pick and hammers it home.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And, guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risk to see if they can cut that lead down. He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
Spurs trail by 5. 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Manu Ginobili on the wing. San Antonio again missing. Here's Early. He's covered by Ginobili. Picked by Bargnani. And here's Anthony from the arc. No good on that last second attempt there. And we're through the...
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
I would call that a competitive first half of action. Ernie Johnson here welcoming you back to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. For the Knicks, the first quarter was pretty even. Nothing seemed to give way on either side of the scoring column as they wrapped up the period all night. And that'll do it for now as we send you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the second half.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. You have to like what we're seeing from Carmelo Anthony.
I tell you what, it's a pleasure to watch him when he's at the helm, because of that first half, offensively, he was in a zone.
It sure is a treat to watch him, guys. I mean, everything's been running through him, and he's doing a fantastic job keeping the offense clicking on all cylinders.
We've got Anthony Early out there with Alexi Shved. Then it's Quincy Ace, and it's Bargnani in at the 5, roaming the paint. That's Derek Fisher's 5 as we get going into the second half. Anthony no one around, and he can't extend the lead to double digits. Kawhi Leonard with another great season last year, earned his first Defensive Player of the Year award with his outstanding play.
And for Leonard, he became the first perimeter player defense was at times.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. Duncan dishes to Green. And the foul on Carmelo Anthony. That is his first foul of the game. Bellinelli, he's checked in for San Antonio. Little over a minute gone here in the second half. Jacks up a three. Count that one.
A little bit of a defensive breakdown there. He's not the guy you want to leave open on the perimeter. You've got to stay attached to him.
The drive by Anthony. He dishes it to Shved. Here's early, guarded by Green. And Shved kicks to AC. Clock at 6. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over. And the Knicks lead by 4.
It takes a lot of skill and agility to lay it in with the defense right on you. That's a terrific finish.
And one thing that everybody loves about Coach Pop is his frankness. You get a taste of it in interviews, but he's as honest and straightforward with you as he is with anybody else.
Bargnani, a screen on Parker. The basket drops, and he gets fouled. Shot. One free throw coming his way.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
And I think he puts this at times grumpy demeanor in more of a spotlight. He's playing along, as we all know, with the sideline reporters. He knows, Greg, you know this firsthand, when to turn it on, when to turn it off. He can be as compassionate a person, Clark, that you and I have ever been around.
Yeah, he's competitive, but he understands that we're all human, and he treats people the right way all the time.
Good. Bargnani's got 4 this quarter.
They are not rotating nearly quickly enough on defense down low. Got to get quicker there.
Just no resistance on the interior.
Parker outside. Right wing. Bellinelli for 3. And it's good on the assist by Parker. Parker's got his 5th assist in this one. And here is Shved. Anthony right side. Here's early. Varied from outside. But I don't know. I think we may see a review here. That was pretty close. And not so fast. The officials are going to check that shot.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Knicks City Dancers.
We've got a great game on our hands as we welcome you back. The 4th quarter of action getting started. Spurs trail by 6. On the floor for San Antonio starting the 4th quarter. Mills out there with Corey Joseph. Then there's Ginobili. Then it's Splitter, and it's Leonard in at the power forward. There's a screen. Back to Ginobili. Just 5 to shoot. From 18 feet away. It's rebounded by New York. Anthony's got rebound number 5 here tonight.
They've been the glass eaters today, guys. A ton of effort out of them down low.
It's been a difference maker for them in this game. That's what's put them in front.
Now here's Mills. Ginobili outside. And he uses the glass on the layup.
Hard to get that one off with the size difference there. That makes it a tough individual matchup for him, especially down low.
Well, took on the big guys going in there and challenging them like he did. But boy, that was a nice job.
And the Spurs pushing it up now. Mills has got the ball. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot. And a moment here to take a look at the scoring breakdown for New York.
When they've had a chance to attack the basket at any point in this game, they've taken advantage.
They've consistently drilled the mid-range jumper tonight as well, which has forced the D to come out on them.
And the Spurs making a change here. Duncan's checked in.
Not nearly as productive a trip to the line as he'd have liked. They need all their free throws to go down at this point.
And after his last game, really not surprised to see him as hot as he is here tonight.
San Antonio calls timeout. They're behind by 7. 1:46 left in the game. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Thanks, guys. I was able to hear Greg Popovich coaching his team during that last break. He told them it's time to fight and take the lead. Let's put ourselves in position to bring it home. Guys, we'll see if they've got what it takes to get it done.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. Now Mills. Leonard on the wing. From downtown, Bargnani grabs the board. Bargnani's got 3 rebounds now in this one. The drive by Anthony. Bargnani kicks to Anthony. New York moving the ball around. Sinks it. And the shot from early.
Such a height mismatch out on the perimeter, and they give up the triple.
35-25.
San Antonio calls timeout. Trailing by 10. 1:14 left in the game. Tony Parker's checked in for Patty Mills. And San Antonio has possession. Parker outside. Screen by Duncan. 6 to shoot. And it's slammed in by Splitter.
And, you know, that's an example of how many plays we have in a game for which there's no stat. A monster dunk coming off just a terrific pick play.
Greg, you're right. It really did work to perfection. Gave him all the room he needed for the flush.
Boy, that's a sound physical play. I mean, can't be afraid to put a shoulder into somebody every once in a while. It's a sport, folks.
And he gets it to go.
I don't want to say they're trying to run up the score here, but they do keep adding to the lead. And they feel good about this win tonight, guys, defending their home court.
I agree. Job well done. They gave these fans exactly what they wanted.
Parker dishes to Leonard. And it's good on the assist by Parker. Here's Shved. Anthony kicks to Bargnani. Pass to Shved. Back to Anthony. There's the pick. Plenty of space. AC. And the Knicks getting another bucket right there.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of him.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Out to the right wing. Bellinelli misses there. So no problem for New York as they get the win. Some good competition, but the hometown advantage and their ability to stay focused, I think, Clark, made the difference.
Well, you know, at this stage, you've got...
Well, gentlemen...
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Thank you, Kevin. And now we get a chance to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Carmelo Anthony.
Just a sensational performance on a lot of levels, Ernie. Too many levels to talk about. Man, it's...
And that'll do it for tonight. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson. Have a good night, everybody.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Everyone is in their seat here at the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland as the Cavaliers look to grab a win here at home. Looking at the last game for the Cleveland Cavaliers, it was a win against the 76ers in Philadelphia.
And really the signature of that game was what they were able to do from a defensive standpoint, particularly on the low post.
Yeah, and they were up in the air an awful lot in that paint area, getting their hands on shots, a lot of them, but if they didn't block them or touch them, they actually changed them.
So a look at our starters for the Knicks. Hardaway Jr. and Melo on the wings. Bargnani is out there with Jason Smith, and it's Calderon in at the 1 spot. Out of bounds, Cleveland will take possession. And the Cavaliers with possession here. In the corner, it's James. It's a pick by Love. Charity stripe shot. Plenty of room to knock down the shot. Well, and watching Kevin Love, he can do everything on the offensive end, Clark. He's been that way really his entire career, going back to high school.
Yeah, his game is low to the ground, too. No explosive moves or dunks. He takes you on and beats you with skill. With footwork, smooth shot, sharp passer, and an excellent IQ.
LeBron kicks to Irving. LeBron with it. Now Anthony defending. James, the pass to Irving.
And for Kyrie Irving, it had been a long time coming. Last season, he finally played in his first postseason with the Cavs. And up until the unfortunate injury, he certainly made the most of it. And what an advantage. You really feel like you can always trust him when he's at the line.
Out to Hardaway. From the arc. Out of bounds. Cleveland will take possession.
That is just a careless turnover. You've got to be smarter in those exchanges.
Cleveland with the ball. Irving double team. And LeBron with the basket, the assist by Irving. And think again about the playoffs last year, Clark. They weren't
out for the rest of the playoffs with that fractured kneecap, a freak injury, but he'll grow from it and be better.
I mean, the Knicks were bad last year, and it became evident early on. As the season grew older, more and more of their national coverage game being pulled.
Here's Hardaway, rips down the breakaway slam.
And I like how he puts himself in position there to finish on the break.
Yeah, you know, that's what we call seeing and feeling the game. Excellent read of how that play was going to develop and where the ball was development there in New York. Also allowed them to shut down Melo for the season.
Here's LeBron after the made shot from Carmelo Anthony. Love wide open. He fires. Love with another miss. The Knicks leading by 3. Some firepower, Clark, from this offense.
Yeah, Kevin, how about the air confidence? I mean, they really look like they believe in what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a nice groove going right now offensively.
Anthony in the corner. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Hardaway. Hardaway has got his third assist. And, of course, as we've always seen with LeBron James, it's not just about the numbers, but his...
I put all the pressure on me.
Well, that there is straight talk from a man who does not pretend. LeBron James with a textbook example how to take responsibility and lead.
And, Kevin, that's why he is the king. He doesn't say, hey, I'm just one of the 5 guys. No, he knows who he is and what he has to do. Bottom line, he's the man. Climb on my shoulders, and I'm going to take you to the promised land.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And guys, what's your take on the Knicks so far?
Just the start they're looking for in this game. Solid offensively through the first.
Very crisp and sharp. Not much stagnation at all on offense.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. And so in the game for the Cavaliers, filling out the wings, it's Shumpert, LeBron, Thompson, and Verija at the 4 and 5. And it's Irving at the point guard.
And guys, the first year for David Blatt, he was second-guessed at every turn. And that happens when you are picked to make the finals, but also when you coach LeBron James.
Shot clock at 6. The 15-footer, good. Irving's got 6 points.
I tell you what, it's almost like stealing to watch how he plays the game from this seat.
And for Black, Greg, everyone did wonder if he would be the right fit early. As the season wore on and the Cavs got tougher, those questions, Clark, went away.
Yeah, and I think most people forget that he's an iconic coaching legend overseas.
Good point, yeah.
So coaching is coaching. Sure, it's not the NBA, but this guy brought a pedigree and resume that was quite substantial.
Here's Anthony, and he jams it after taking the nice feed on the run.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
And, you know, that lead's only going to grow if they're not prepared to defend a little more staunchly than that.
.119 left in the first half. Inside, Thompson, and the dunk to finish it off. A beauty.
Now that's finishing your work right there.
Powerful two-hand jam, you're right.
And I tell you what, if he's got a few more of those in him, this lead will start shrinking even further.
17-foot shot on the way. Here's Calderon. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. Calderon's got the lead up to 11 now for the Knicks. And here's Irving. A 20-point game for him in the win against Philadelphia.
Yeah, but he set up shop at the free throw line. I mean, he just could not be defended out on the floor.
Smith on the wing. Back to Anthony. Here's Hardaway. Calderon in the corner from the baseline. And it's rebounded by Anderson Verija.
Well, I think he had all the space he needed. He just couldn't find the bottom of the net.
Shumpert dishes to Verija. Anthony against LeBron. Picked by Verija. LeBron Irving. Back to LeBron. It'll count. And released it in time, but it's off the mark. So we've reached the end of the first.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson here alongside Kenny. New York holding the upper hand after the first 2 quarters. They lead by 9 points. Shaq, we'll start with you. How do you think they play? All right, that is going to wrap up our halftime report as it's just...
And now the third quarter about to get going. Carmelo Anthony really has his fingerprints all over this one.
Yeah, you know, one of the things about the truly greats of our game is that sometimes you get spoiled because of how consistent they can be. And so far, another big scoring night for him.
And oftentimes when he puts up that many points in the first half, he follows it up with an even better second half. We'll see if that's the case here.
And on the floor for Derek Fisher as we get into the second half, Hardaway Jr. and Melo on the wings. Smith is out there with Bargnani, and it's Calderon in at the point guard position.
You know, for Carmelo last season, it was Murphy's Law. What could go wrong did go wrong. After signing Melo to a max deal, the Knicks management expected a bunch from him, but with the new offense and a bad knee, it didn't happen.
The Knicks leading by 7. The drive by Smith. And again, it's New York.
Yeah, it's just a smart shot taking advantage of the mismatch.
Well, with a stroke like that and the height advantage as well, the mid-range J is almost a gimme.
LeBron kicks to Love. Dishes it to Mozgov. And there's a nice one-handed slam.
Tell you what, Kevin, they'd love to see him get a lot more of those opportunities.
Clark, that deficit will go away quickly if he does.
And how about how he capped that one out? Almost like the 1-2 punch.
Up and in on every one of their first 3 shots to start the second half. You know, the Cavs last season won a bunch of games, but they had to fight for a lot of them. They often would fall behind early or dig a big hole and have to fight their way out of it. Carmelo Anthony showing you his passing skill there.
The Cavaliers trail by 11. Irving passes to LeBron. To the paint. Kicks it out to Love. The shot misses. So New York will take it the other way. You mentioned, GA, the Cavs and their comebacks. They actually overcame double-digit deficits for 13 of their 50. Timeout called, Cleveland. Last season ended with the Knicks pretty much packing it in, but Clark, it didn't start out that way.
You know what? Not at all. I mean, the Knicks were picked by many, Kevin, to be a playoff team last season. Clearly, things did not go as planned.
Cavaliers making a switch here. Thompson's checked in. Irving against Calderon. Irving dishes to Thompson. James outside. Cleveland needs to get a shot off here. And on the way from Irving for 3. Once again off the mark by Cleveland. The Knicks leading by 13. 17 seconds left in the third quarter. Bargnani kicks to Calderon. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. Now here's LeBron. From deep three-point range, off on that one. And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. The Cavaliers trail by 13. Kyrie Irving and J.R. Smith at the guard set. Down low, it's Love and Mozgov. And it's Marion in at the 3 slot. That's the 5 for Cleveland right now. And the dunk by Love.
And that's such solid, fundamental basketball on display right there, guys.
You talk about it all the time, Greg. Yeah, great use of the pick to set up the dunk.
And, guys, it was a terrific understanding between teammates that made that possible. They really did read each other well there.
And that one's good, Anthony.
And he could be the guy to put this game out of reach.
Love goes in. That's good. Love's got 4 points this quarter.
And he's really shot the ball well, but it hasn't been contagious.
New York leading by 11. Here's Anthony, and he uses both hands to jam it in.
And no doubt about it, in order for them to be successful, he has got to be a catalyst when it comes to scoring.
Here's Irving. The Knicks pull it in.
That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
Smith kicks to Hardaway. Anthony, the pass to Hardaway. To the inside. Cannot hit. Good work defensively by Marion. Cavaliers have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. Mozgov, a screen on Calderon. No one near Smith as he lets it go. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist. Irving's got assist number 5 here tonight. New York's gone 3 of 4 from long range in the game. Smith, and the layup's good off the glass. Got 10 points in just the second half.
And really a good job spotting his teammate near the bucket and then just point passing for the finish.